shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're going to swap the order around a little bit and start with the head coach today. Catherine from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you very much. Afternoon. You wait ages and then two strikers come along at once, one of whom is in the room, so we'll start by embarrassing Joe Taylor, who's just waiting to talk to us later. Your two new additions, just talk to us a little bit about them and why you think they fit the bill for Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, it was a good birthday from my point of view, and thanks to the chairman for that. Two players that we think will add to what we've got. We spoke to Joe in the summer. We were really close to getting it done. But as I've said previous, until they walk in the door and it's signed on the dotted line, you're always subject to different things going wrong. So Joe's good age, ambitious, young, gives us threats that we don't have in terms of blistering pace, and he's got goals in him. The two clubs that he went to last year, he scored goals in two different teams, two different divisions, two different formations. And he's like I said, we wanted to bring him in this summer. We've sort of kept contact with him, and the way the season's panned out, I think it looks like he gives us a dimension that we don't have. We can't really stretch teams, and he gives us a different dimension. So I think hopefully, as always, when you sign players, you don't ever look to sign bad players. But the club invested in him, and hopefully it can work for all parties.
Dion as well, can you talk a little bit about him and what you're hoping he'll bring?
Very similar, different age, more experience, proven at the level, plays in a similar formation to us. In the last 2 or 3 years when I've been in this division, he's been one of the biggest pests to play against, in terms of not only his goal threat but his work rate, his pressing, his all-round game. The year that I was at Barnsley, I think we played Bolton 5 times, and I had in Mads Anderson what I consider to be the best centre half in the league comfortably, and Dion was the one that really gave him a tough time every week. So the fact that we got an inkling that it might be a goer, it might be doable, we jumped at the opportunity.
Do you envisage that they'll both play together?
Well, we played 3-5-2 as a general rule, so yeah, but it's not those two. I want to work with 4 or 5 centre forwards. Said that all along. Ask a lot from the front two. In a perfect world, they give it everything. 70 minutes, you can freshen it up. Obviously, if one of them is ripping it up, or they're both ripping it up, it's down the pitch. Because we ask so much of them. But no, they've been signed to play in a front two. We've had to be fairly flexible in recent weeks. We've been 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, based on personnel available. But we've got a lot of people coming back now, and the ideal shape is getting back to that front two.
Where does that leave your other strikers then? Admittedly, a couple out with long-term injuries. The others might be thinking, where does that leave me now, seeing 2 very high-profile additions? How do you approach that situation?
I think not just in the centre forward department. I think we are fairly full. So I'll be having conversations with people in the next couple of weeks in terms of, and it's not a case of we don't have to offload people, but I'll be having conversations, and in terms of game time will be limited. So if they want to further their career and play football, because ultimately footballers are footballers and they want to play football. So that's where you have honest conversations with people and go, look, your football might be limited. Now that's subject to change. I had a pretty similar conversation with Ollie Turton in the last window, and he started the last 5 or 6, 7 games. So that's not saying I'm right, but all I can do is be honest with people. They might not like it, but at least in 10 years' time they'll know it was an honest conversation. And then it's up to them what they want to do with their career. So there's no, I have to get like 8 people out or anything like that because we've signed a couple of players. I think your game time's going to be limited. I think if you want to do what you want to do, which is play football, it might have to be elsewhere. So we're quite happy to have that conversation with people.
Appreciate I have asked you this question before, and the information may not always land on your desk. Have you had any bids from other clubs that you've had to fend off, as far as you're aware?
Not as yet, no. So that's the other way where people might leave. We might get bids. We've not turned anything down at the minute. But yeah, so there's probably we're going to know more in. And then we've got a squad of 25 now, and they're all first-team players. So you can't keep them all happy. And that's where you just got to tell the truth and say this is where it lies. Now, if someone makes a bid for a player that we deem, well, that's a decent bid. Well, until it happens, I don't worry too much about it.
Does it feel a little bit like a refresh? Some new faces coming in. No game because the Shrewsbury match was postponed. You've had a bit of time to work with the squad as it stands. Does it feel like, as we approach this second half of the season now, almost like a bit of a reset over the last 10 days?
Probably, yeah. We've done a bit more 11-11 than what we normally do. Again, to integrate people, but you've got quite a few players coming back to fitness now who are on the grass, and we're trying to get them up to speed, trying to build new relationships with new players. Albeit Dion's only trained today, but no, it's a almost take stock moment. Right, we've done okay in the first half of the season. Been loads of change. The thing that I mainly talked about in the turnover was the mentality and the culture sort of things, and that they've improved massively. There wasn't a massive turnover of players in the summer, and 4 permanents in and a few loans, 2 or 3 out. So it's you want evolution rather than revolution, to be honest, and that's what feels is just the next part of that.
Blackpool away then on Saturday. Again, no games in this league are easy. What are you expecting from them?
A difficult game. I think they're the best team that have been here by a mile. Other than Birmingham away, I think they are the best team that we've played. I think we were poor on the day, but I don't think you can just put that performance down to us just being poor. I thought they were excellent. I thought they did what they needed to do really well. And in terms of, if you break it down to actual chances, I think it was pretty close. But the feel of the game, it felt like we got outplayed us essentially. Probably picked the wrong team, probably set the team up wrong, so I took a bit of ownership in terms of that. But it was in a difficult moment. I'd like to think if we started a game like we started that one, we'd be able to have a few more resolutions now and be able to solve the problems a little bit better.
With that in mind then, can you really take much from the previous match against Blackpool? Because it feels like Huddersfield are in such a different place now.
I think they'll see a different version of us. They've been pretty similar in terms of their setup. The players have been the same. They'll look to bring a few more in. I think it's Steve's first window, so he'll look to tweak a few things. But he knows his way around a football pitch. A lot more experience than me. And it felt a little bit like that when we played them the last time. I was like, yeah, I've just been done there properly. So hopefully we're better, I'm better. The players are in a better place, and we're a stronger outfit. Well, we are a stronger outfit than what we were, but we know that the players will know. It won't be a surprise if they turn up and are good on the day, because we'll be expecting the best version of them, which I think we saw.
Finally, for me, in terms of team news, is there any update on David Kusumu, first of all, and Brodie Spencer and Josh Koroma?
Yeah, Josh, Brodie, fine. They would have both been all right for the last game that was called off as well. Cass will be a couple of weeks. I think Nigel Longwick's about 4 weeks. But again, we've had a bit of time now training on the grass. Anthony Evans, Hoggy, Rodinho. So yeah, it's starting to. There's proper competition for places now.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Catherine. We'll just come to Stephen Chicken from We Are Terriers next.
All right, good to see you. And I'll take the microphone, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it must be. How do you see the strikers working, the partnerships? Is it everyone have to earn their place at this point now?
Yeah, that hasn't changed all season. I've been pretty consistent with that. We thought. I don't think it's a surprise that centre forward walked in the building. I think where we are, there's the facts say we've created the most chances in the league. We've got the best XG in the league. So we felt that part of the pitch needed to be freshened up. as it's always been. You know, with the centre halves, we've been heavily stocked in the centre half department, and sometimes some of the good ones have had to miss out through no fault of their own. You know, Matty Pearson came out of the team because someone landed on his foot. He came out of the team for 2.5 games. We haven't conceded a goal. Brody comes in and scores 2. And he knocks on the door. He says, "Why am I not playing?" I said, "Well, we've not conceded a goal. The man that took your place has scored 2." So the centre forwards are the same department. There's you know, what we've got to be careful is that we've signed 2 centre forwards, and all of a sudden people expect us to start winning 5 or 6-0 every week. The league's not like that. It's not that easy. We think we've signed 2 good players, but they'll have to come in. They're going to have to adapt. There'll be a bit of a sort of period where that takes a little bit of time and integrating them into the team. But we think they're good players. We think they'll add to what we've got. And like I said, competition's never a bad thing, but we are heavy in certain areas. So, you know, sometimes there's almost too much competition where people, no matter what they do, aren't gonna get the football they need, and that goes back to the conversations that I'll be having with people in the next week or so.
Must be very pleased to get. You know, we're only on 16th of January now. Are you saying looking like no more new incomings? That's a great position to be in. Yeah,
it's a difficult position. When people ask people sitting in my seat, and we've had things fall down on deadline day and fans get frustrated. No one wants to do their business on the 31st of January. But sometimes you're a victim of circumstance. Sometimes you've got to wait for the chain to start. We're not a Premier League club, so we don't set the chain reaction. Luckily, with the players that we brought in, you know, we've paid fees for, and they were deemed surplus to requirements at their clubs. So we didn't have to wait. That was the beauty why you could get it done so quickly, because they wanted to come, we wanted to do it. The selling club were happy to do it. It's when you're waiting for a loan or someone has to get someone in before they let a player out. I think Luton were pretty clear that we wanted Joe for quite a long time, so that deal had been, well, we've been trying to get that deal a long time. And I think the amount of football that Joe played, I think he was frustrated with the amount of minutes that he was getting there, and fresh opportunity. Dion was the same one. Dion didn't come up till quite late, but once we got a sniff of an opportunity to take him, and Bolton were happy to do it, then, like I just said, for the reasons why we did it before, I think they're 2 good players.
Obviously, Mish missed the last game. He'd been all right since Wickham.
Yeah, Mish would have been involved on the Saturday. Like I said to you on the press on the Thursday, it hadn't seemed to have knocked him for 6 or 7 days like that had the other illnesses, so he would have been involved in the. Well, he would have travelled on the Friday before the game was called off, so he was fine.
Just to sort of reiterate for those who may not have heard it, I mean, there have been a lot of rumours around Michal, but it was nothing to do with any of that. Was there? No, not on the verge of an exit or anything as it stands.
No, Mish is a good player who's played a lot of championship games, so it's a sign of doing well that people are going to be interested in your players. He's at an age now where we had a conversation with Misha in the summer, and a League One club came in for him and said, "We're not selling to League One because we weren't going to do that." If the Championship club makes a bid, it's a different thing. But I can categorically tell you now that he didn't miss the Wickham game through any other thing, that it was illness.
A player who has come back, Neo Eccleston, what's the thinking behind that? Is he going to be involved in the first team? Is he back in the B team? Might he go back out again?
We'll look to get Neo back out.
Yeah.
I think with respect to Neo, he's not going to get any minutes in the first team with where he's at on his career path at the minute. He's had exposure at League 2 now, so he needs to go back and hopefully get another Football League loan for his own benefit, his own career. So coming back and playing for the B team now wouldn't be beneficial for him. He comes into our training group at the minute. Like I said, when everyone's fit, we'll be getting to a point where we'll be doing 11v11 and we'll have senior players missing out on that. So that's when it becomes difficult.
Just to tick off a couple of other injuries, where are we on Lee Nichols and Lass Sorensen, please?
Lee's back training, full availability now. Played in a game on Monday, so he's back in contention, deemed fit. And Lass is another way. He's in full training again. So again, because of just the length of time that he's been out, we just probably need to get. I'd imagine this weekend will probably be too soon, but he'll be available for the Bolton game the week after, because they've had 2 weeks full training then.
Do you have a decision to make in goal between Lee and Chappers?
I've got 11 decisions to make. It's I've just said it's if Chappie had come in for 2 or 3 games, it's a different thing. But he's had 3.5 months, 4 months in the team now, and done well. So Lee's going to have to fight for his place. So it's Chris Maxwell as well. I've got 3. I'd class them all as 3 first-team goalkeepers now. So again, there's not many. There isn't any teams or many teams in this league that would be able to carry 3 goalkeepers like that. So I think Lee's knows that as well. I don't think Lee's under any expectations that he's just going to say, "Well, I'm fit, so give me my shirt now. It's mine." He knows he's going to have to fight for his place, which is again, which is what you want.
That's me. Thank you.
Cheers, Steve. We'll just come to Leon Wobshaw from the Yorkshire Post last.
Hi, Michael. I hope you're well. I was just wondering, as you do you see your inward recruitment as that pretty much being it, really? Or,
Yeah. I said it all along. We had a pretty short list. And I'm being brutally honest. I think we've got the top 3 that we wanted in. So that doesn't happen very often. And to get it done so quickly as well, it's really pleasing. Like I said, we've got to be careful. Hopefully, there's a buoyancy now. It puts a spring in everyone's step. You just got to manage the expectation with it. It doesn't all of a sudden we've become world beaters all of a sudden. We think we just added quality into what we think is a half decent team.
Do you think there's a part of your sort of a lot of the narrative in League One's been, it's been Birmingham, it's been Wrexham, now there's Huddersfield as well. You're sort of there to be, I don't know, shot at a little bit more given what you've done in the market and the statements you've made?
I think so, but I think we've just gone 3.5 months without getting beat. So I think the word's out that we're not a bad team now anyway. At the early part of the season, like I said, lots of change, bit of mental fragility, people not knowing where they stand, bit of pressure, people turning into individuals. So I think we're a better team now. And like you say, once you have, the numbers that get banded around are interesting sometimes, but we have paid substantial fees, but nothing that I've seen. But like I said, we've strengthened in the areas that we wanted to strengthen. We've got people coming back. We've got a healthier squad now. So I think, have we got a target on our back even more so? I don't know. We prepare to play the best version of anyone that we play. Blackpool, like I just said, they are the best team that have been to our place this season. So we'll be preparing for that version of them, and hopefully we can prove that we're better and take 3 points.
You know this level very well, Michael. It looks like it could be another really intriguing run, and it's going to be a hell of a battle for those 3 promotion slots.
Yeah, I think we'd have been expected to be in and around where we are. Birmingham were expected to be in and around. I think Wickham and Wrexham have been brilliant, because I don't think anyone would, without being disrespectful to them, I don't think anyone would expect them to be going as well as what they are. But they're there on merit. They're there on merit, and it's no flash of the pan. And then you've got other teams that will be looking to do the same as us, strengthen and get stronger and stronger. But all we can do is worry about ourselves. And we've sort of aligned of where we want to be as a group pretty well. It's important the new players come in and fit into that now. The boundaries are set of what's acceptable and what's not, how we train, how we don't. And I would expect that, I'm not expecting any of the new ones to come in and cause any trouble, but if they do, I'd expect the group to manage them and then to align them the way we want to move it forward, because that's the one thing we have done since the summer, is that sort of the parameters of the way we operate have gone from sort of here into a bit more in a straight line. It's never a straight line, but a bit more aligned. And that's hopefully that added with quality would be beneficial, more points, but it's never that simple. You go 15 unbeaten, you sign 3 new players, we'll probably get beat 4-0 Saturday, because the way football works. But it doesn't mean because we sign bad players, it doesn't mean we become a bad team. It just means you've got a fresh challenge.
I was going to ask you finally, you've obviously signed 2 strikers with proven calibre, but it seems to be that, when you're a bit as well, that you're getting 2 really good characters as well. I mean, I'd look at Joe, he's not been in academies all his career and been patted on the head. He left Norwich when he was a kid, and Dion left, didn't get his chance at Blackpool. So they've both got that hunger, that drive, that to sort of to do well within them.
Yeah, I think, like I said, different stages of the career, but both got something to prove.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think they both think they're championship players, but they're both in League One, the same as what we're in League One. So everyone here we didn't want to sign someone that's 36 and had their best years. You know, I think Dion's in the prime of his career, and we think Joe can only get better. We think we can improve both of them, and hopefully they can come on the journey with us. So that, I think that fire and that hunger. What we don't want is there's a lot of entitlement in football now. You know, the we owe the players something, or they have that about them a lot of the time, and I don't think you have that with these two. You know, Ruben, another example of he's played in the top division in Holland, but he wants to come and prove himself in England because it's basically the place to be. You know, the Championship, obviously the top division. Don't get me wrong, it's where the money is as well. But he jumped at the opportunity to move countries to come to a League One team, which doesn't normally happen. So he's got something to prove as well, which is what you want. You want ambition and but a bit of realism within it. It's just you can't say you want to do it and then not be prepared to work. And that's what we've done as a group to get us to where we are. End of the day, we're fourth in the league, so we've achieved absolute zero.
Yeah. Best of luck on Saturdays, Evan Michael. Thank you.
Cheers, Leon.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll be back with
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day. Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm pleased to be joined by Joe Taylor and Dion Charles. We'll start with Catherine Hannah from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you very much. Good to meet you both. First of all, do you two know each other at all, other than meeting over the last couple of days? Have you crossed paths much, Joe? Do you know each other?
No, I don't think we have we? No, not so yet.
So good. Just so we know where we start off with. We've just been talking to Michael Duff, and he said that he felt that both of you, in some ways, have got something to prove. Joe, first of all, do you agree with that you've got something to prove here at Huddersfield?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I think my game time as of late this season has been very limited, and albeit I believe that I could have been out there making a difference. It's just not how it's panned out. And no, yeah, you're right, absolutely.
And Dion, same for you. Do you feel like you've got a bit of something to prove here?
Yeah, definitely. Look, there's been one reason why we've both been brought in, so we can't shy away from that task. But like I say, all the way through my career, I've always liked to prove people wrong and gone out there and with a point to prove.
Talking about your individual circumstances then and your moves here, Joe, I mean, it feels like this has been such a long time coming. How did it unfold? I mean, how close were you to joining Huddersfield Town prior to this window?
Yeah, no, in the summer it came pretty close, but unfortunately we weren't able to get it over the line on deadline day. But no, thankfully the club will continue to show interest in me throughout the season, even though I wasn't necessarily getting the game time I perhaps should have. But it's good. But no, I'm thankful that this time it finally got over the line. Yeah.
And what was that down to? Was that down to numbers, accountants? Was it down to other clubs? You know, what was the hold up?
Initially, it was only supposed to be a loan move in the summer, but no, I couldn't tell you what the issue was. But I've forgotten about that now, and I'm just happy to be here.
And I suppose it gives you that confidence, that reassurance that Huddersfield have stuck with you, they've continued that interest, must give you a lot of confidence moving here.
Yeah, absolutely. The conversation I had were only positive, and the club showed that they had a path to take me on, and that they believed in me, and they believed that I could come in and make a difference. And I'm, like I've said already, that I'm just really grateful that we did manage to get over the line. Yeah.
Dion, from your point of view, I mean, with Joe, it seems like it's been inevitable. He's been coming here for months and months. For you, it felt like it's been a little bit more under the radar. So how did this come about? And did Bolton try and keep you? Because ultimately you've had a really successful time with them.
It come around really quick. Like you say, I had a really good 3 years at Bolton. Made lots of memories that'll stick with me for the rest of my life. But there's a lot of decisions that had to be made for this. More so it's being able to prove myself, and I feel the type of football that the gaffer plays here is only going to bring the best out of me. So yeah, can't wait to get going.
I ask because I suppose from the outside looking in, you go, well, you've scored a lot of goals at Bolton, they're a big, historic club, you've had a lot of success there. Why move?
Similar to Joe, I've probably not played as much as what I wanted. I'm sure the gaffer touched on it before. Footballers, they want to play football, and I had that conversation at Bolton. I want to play every minute of every game and be out there proving myself, and I've not got that. So I feel at this point in my career it's best to go elsewhere.
Time for a fresh start. There is now huge pressure of expectation that you guys are going to be banging in goals left, right and centre. Joe, is that something you thrive on? How do you handle that weight of expectation?
Yeah, no, it's obviously a positive thing. I think I speak on behalf of me and Dion. This is a situation where we both thrive. We both want to play in pressured situations and stuff like that. But no, I think we're both confident in our own ability, and we believe that we will come in and score goals given the opportunities, and hopefully that's how it pans out.
And service is going to be key. As a striker, what do you need from your teammates?
The service. But one of the main reasons why I did come here is to create the most big chances in the league. And for a striker, you're rubbing your hands together. You know, if you're on the pitch, you're going to get them opportunities, and then it's down to us to put them away. And like you say, it's pressure, but pressure makes diamonds. So you thrive on it. So as a footballer, that's what I love doing. Sticking the ball in the net is probably one of the best things you can do. So.
You've both had to graft through your careers, work your way up, different loan spells. Ironically, going back to Blackpool for you at the weekend, Dion, where it all started. What was your time there like coming up through their youth ranks?
Yeah, I got released as a kid at 18, so the first 2 games here are quite special for me. My first ever professional club, and then my last club. So, look, I'm looking forward to it. I'm at Huddersfield Town now, and it's time to show them what I can do.
Yeah, does it give you that extra bit of bite, that determination, particularly as a young kid when you get released? That must be heartbreaking when it happens. Did it take you a while to get over that?
It did, yeah. But then you're an 18-year-old and it's welcome to the big bad world. You realise you're not in the bubble of being a footballer then, and I think it brings you down to earth and makes you grit your teeth and put in that hard work to get back there. It makes it more sweeter when you actually do.
Well, yeah, exactly, that's it. And for Joe as well, you've had different loan spells, you've been really successful in your previous loan spells. But how different does it feel now? Because you've committed yourself to Huddersfield for a long-term contract. Does it feel different knowing that you're committed here now? It's not just a few months here, there and everywhere?
I wouldn't say it's different, no. At the end of the day, football's football, innit? And no, I was equally as committed at Lincoln as I was at Colchester and at Luton. But no, I'm here now, and the end goal is to score as many goals as possible and get this club back to where it belongs. And no, I think that's what we're all striving for at the minute, yeah.
Last couple from me then. Influences on your career. Joe, who would you say has been maybe the biggest influence on getting you to the point that you're at now?
Aside from my family, if you're looking at footballing inspirations, I would look at people like Jamie Vardy and people that have come through that non-league route and similar play style to me, I'd like to think. And yeah, I'd probably go as far as him, probably. Obviously, you have your idols and stuff like that, but he's the one that I sort of look at his pathway. He was a late bloomer, came through the same sort of path as I did. And yeah, no, I'll probably stick with Jamie Vardy, yeah. Yeah,
same for you, Dion. Who's been your big footballing influences?
Yeah, very similar. The Jamie Vardy story is quite special, and it gives anybody hope when you look at that. And we're not there yet, so still plenty more to come.
Best of luck. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you, Catherine. Come to Stephen Chippen from We Are Terriers next.
Yeah, that really is my name, by the way. You each know a fullback already here. So obviously, Joe, you played with Lass last season. How did you find playing with Lass?
Oh, I loved every minute of playing with Lass. As a striker, he's sort of your ideal wing back or fullback, whatever you want to call him, really. But no, me and Lass had a really good relationship. As he's told many people around the building before, that he claims that he was the reason I got my move here. So thank you, Lass. But nah, he's brilliant, Lass. He bombs up and down that right hand side all game, and essentially he finds me in the box.
Are those the kinds of chances you want, the kind that we've seen Lass create here?
Yeah, definitely crosses into the box, stuff like that, balls in behind. That's the sort of thing that I thrive off.
And obviously, Dion, you know Brodie as well as Callum Marshall from the international scene. It's a growing contingent here. Was that sort of a factor? I presume you hit them up before you made the move?
To be honest, I didn't really. Yeah. Kept it quite quiet. But yeah, knowing them two for the past couple of years, they're both brilliant players, and they're going to help me get to where I want to get to.
Yeah, I mean, have you... Obviously, I think the fans will look at the fact that you played with Callum up top as a potential partnership. There's options there. I mean, you're all going to get to know each other and see what sticks, I suppose, now.
Yeah, definitely. But like the gaffer said before, there's great players in the building. It's competition for places, so you can't be disappointed if you haven't got the shirt. You just got to crack on, work hard, and when you get your chance, keep the shirt.
It must be a big draw to you both as professionals. I'll ask you, Joe, I suppose, that obviously Town are in really good form at the moment. They're up in fourth. They've got aspirations of automatic. That's looking like potentially a realistic prospect. That must be a big attraction for a mid-season move.
Yeah, 100%. I think ultimately the football club and us as players, we want to get back into the Championship and prove that we are too good for this league and want to be up there competing with the best. And being on a 15-game unbeaten run is always helpful. And no, I think we're looking forward to continuing that run. Yeah.
And for you, Dion, obviously having gone close with Bolton a couple of times, but not played at that level before, it must be, a big attraction.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've been close a couple of times, so I know probably what it takes, and maybe I can give a bit of that experience to the rest of the squad that I've gained. But look, it's still early in the season, we're only halfway through, so you can't get too carried away. We've got to stay humble, stick to the plan, take each game as it comes, and so the next couple of games are very tough.
And obviously they brought you in to score goals mostly, Dion, but has Michael spoken to you? You are one of the more experienced strikers at the club now. There's a lot of younger options. Is that something Michael has spoken to you about, wanting to offer that experience, or is it all about get on the pitch?
That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you.
Cheers, Steve. We'll just come to Rob Shaw from the Yorkshire Folk last.
I heard, Dion, I hope you're well. Congratulations with the move. When you left Blackpool, was there ever any point where you sort of nearly gave up on your dreams, or did you always thought, no, I'm gonna battle back and make it? Because I know you went in the non-league route, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been in non-league a couple of times now. Sort of yo-yoed, and the last time it stuck. I've stuck here. Yeah, it's been an eventful journey, but I've never ever wanted to give up. Like I say, one of my driving factors is proving people wrong. So as a young 18-year-old boy, I was told that I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And we're playing them on Saturday, so I've proved them wrong.
Yeah, I suppose getting to the Champions is huge in your career. That's probably why you went to sort of Bolton, isn't it? It'd really finished your journey for you, wouldn't it?
What was that? Sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
Getting to the Championship, that'd really finish your journey for you. You obviously went to Bolton with that in mind, and it'd be a huge thing for your career.
Yeah, definitely. As footballers, you want to make the most out of your career and play as high as you can. I've played in League One a few times now. I've been in the playoffs. And that next step for me is to get promotion. The club's going brilliant, and I feel like I could really help the club get back to where they want to.
And just a similar question to you, Joe. Did you feel at some point you maybe could have been lost to football? I know when you left Norwich as a kid, and I think I read somewhere you were interested in other sports as well. Were you a bit of a rugby player as well, weren't you, in your youth, or a bit of cricket? Or
Yeah. If I'm being brutally honest, unlike Dion, I did think about dropping out, and I did for a year. I went and played rugby. Obviously, I was still playing a little bit of football on the side, but no, I did kind of look at other routes and stuff like that. Yeah, I played my rugby, I played my cricket, but ultimately there was always that natural draw back to football, and thankfully I got back into it.
And you worked on Civvy Street, and I read you were a barman as well, weren't you, at some point?
Yeah. We'll keep that one short and sweet, but I was a barman, yeah. Yeah,
but I suppose you've seen other parts of life, and it really, you'd never take for granted being a professional footballer. Well, both of you, by the, giving you stories.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think our stories are quite similar, and younger people who are obviously deciding what they want to do and whether they want to go down the route of being a footballer, and they're two stories that the younger generation can look up to.
I was going to ask you finally, the fact that Huddersfield have wanted you for so long, and the managers, he obviously really rates you, and he's wanted you so long, he's probably been desperate to get you in. That's another sort of confidence backing for you, isn't it, really? They've really pushed the boat out and wanted you. They could have lost interest, but they kept, wanting you to come, and obviously persistence has paid off.
Yeah, 100%. I think any club showing that sort of interest over that amount of time, even obviously the first deal falling through, for a club to then continue that interest into a later window is always positive. No.
Very best of luck to the pair of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Neil. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see the majority of you at Blackpool on Saturday.
Thank you.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.